एक वन कॉर्नर हाँ हाँ ऑडियंस दूसरा पार्ट पार्ट वन कर रहा था श्री गुरु थोड़ा पीछे लेकर
Maharaja University Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Prabhupada ki Prabhupada Guru ki Ananda Guru Vaishnava ki Namacharya Sri Maharaja Thakura ki. Thank you, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara Siva Sarji Gaura Bhakti Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Kukina Shyama Kudara Kunda Giri Varodhan ki Vrindavan ki Dhira Damodara ki Navadvi Mai Kudan ki Jagannath Puridan ki Yamuna Mai ki Ganges Mai ki Tulasi Devi ki Bhakti Devi ki Samaveta Bhaktivedanta ki Nitai Gaura Brahma. All glories are sung. All glories are sung. All glories are sung. Glory to Sri Guru Sri Gaura.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. ISKCON founder Acharya, BBK founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada ki. Holiness Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj ki. Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj ki. Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj 20th Sannyasa Anniversary Mahashow ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki. Shri Krishna Balaram ki. Jai Gaur Pramanande. Hare Krishna. So first of all, we have few guidelines and announcement. Before that, we dive deeply in today's spiritual nectar. So please, all of us can keep our mobile silent so that we can hear loudly the voice of sadhus. We can keep our mobile silent please. Everybody take out. सब लोग अपने अपने फोन बाहर निकाल के एक बार फोन को साइलेंट कर लें ताकि हम लोग कृष्ण कथा भक्त कथा को अच्छे से प्रस्तुत कर सकें। और जो चेयर्स हैं ये गेस्ट के लिए हैं या जो बूढ़े लोग हैं उनके लिए हैं। अगर कोई नीचे बैठ सकता है तो नीचे बैठने का प्रयास करिए, अदरवाइज नो प्रॉब्लम। So we can kindly allow the old devotees who are coming sit in the chair, who cannot feel comfortable sitting down, we can give them chairs. The Hindi devotees, those who want to Hindi, जो हिंदी के लोग हैं वे लोग एक तरफ पीछे बैठ सकते हैं। श्रीमान गोविंद प्रेम प्रभु वो भक्तों के लिए पीछे अनुवाद करेंगे। तो जो लोगों को इंग्लिश समझ में नहीं आएगी, हिंदी समझ में आएगी, वो कृपया बिल्कुल पीछे की ओर बैठ सकते हैं। वहां पर श्रीमान गोविंद प्रेम प्रभु आप ये माइक और स्टैंड को गोविंद प्रेम प्रभु take the speaker and you can go back. So we all can be comfortably seated. Just few seconds so that we can start our program very comfortably. जिन लोगों को हिंदी में कंफर्टेबल है, आराम है, उनको हिंदी में वो पीछे बैठ जाए। बाकी सब लोग आगे जाइए। Please, we can come ahead so that other devotees also can come backside. Many devotees are going to come. We can come closer. The more closer we are, we will get Krishna Prema very fast. जितना पास में आएंगे कृष्ण प्रेम जल्दी मिलेगा, दूर रहेंगे देर मिलेगा। Please. So first of all, I offer my respectful obeisances to all the Senior Vaishnavas, Vancha Kalpataruveshta, Kripa Sindhu Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo. We seek the blessings of all the senior devotees and Srila Gurudev to start the program. And we also seek the blessings of Srila Bhakti Dhira Maharaj, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and all the previous acharyas, so that we can fulfill the purpose of our coming today, which is to imbibe the mood of previous acharyas, and we can glorify, appreciate the contributions of our previous acharyas, Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual masters, so that we can get their mercy and blessings. Spiritual life begins with the association of a pure devotee. Srila Prabhupada writes in so many places, in so many purposes. Spiritual life begins, and Rupa Goswami says, spiritual life begins with Spiritual Master. So today we are here to celebrate, offer our gratitude, our appreciation for Srila Gurudev, His Holiness, Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj, who is, for many of us, is a very kind father. For some of us, he is like mother. For some of us, he is our leader. He is a bona fide guru as well as bona fide disciple. And also, he is like thunderbolt for those who are deviating from the path of pure Krishna consciousness. He is very heavy, at the same time he is very soft. So we are going to start our program by inviting His Holiness Vrindavan Das Goswami Maharaj. Maharaj is disciple of His Holiness Radha Govind Das Goswami Maharaj. And Srila Gurudev was sannyas mentor for Maharaj. That time was Maharaj name was His Grace Vrindavan Prabhu, and we have seen His Holiness Vrindavan Das Goswami Maharaj is very much known for his deep attachment for Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Vrindavan Dham, Govardhan and Vrindavan Parikrama, and very simple in nature. Once, last year, I was in temple, in Krishna Ballan temple, and Maharaj asked me, where is Guru Maharaj? So I told Guru Maharaj is just near shoe stand and is going. Maharaj immediately, like a small child wants to go to mother, he left everything, so many duty pain of senses. He didn't worry at all. He just speedily, very fast, he rushed toward Maharaj. And immediately he went to Guru Maharaj and he put his head on his lotus feet. I was observing this. So I learned from that day how much Maharaj is greedy, how much he is eager to associate with the pure devotee, how much he respects and has reverence for the pure devotees. With this, we invite His Holiness Radha Govinda Swami Maharaj to start our program with telling us the bona fide qualities of a true Vaishnava sannyasi, so that we can also learn from the scriptures. As we know, sannyas ashram is the chief of all other varna and ashram. So we will be hearing from Maharaj, and after that also Maharaj will also speaking his own appreciation and gratitude for Srila Gurudev. Hare Krishna Maharaj, most welcome. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Gurudev ki.
हस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम राम। एक दिन पहले जगन निवास प्रभु गए थे हमारे पास। हाँ तो ठीक है, अच्छा होगा। हमको यहाँ आने के लिए आमंत्रित किए।
One day ago, Jagannivas Prabhu approached me and invited me to come to this program.
और हमको क्या बोलना है यह भी बतलाए।
And he also spoke to me about the topic on which I have to say.
जो चीज़ है हमको बोलने को कहे तो मैं तो मना कर दिया कि हमको ज्ञान ही नहीं है।
And the topic he gave me, I refused to him by saying I can't speak on this topic. I don't have any knowledge on this topic.
हमको ये कह रहे थे कि संन्यास तत्व के विषय में बोलिएगा।
He was asking me to speak on sannyas tattva.
तो हमको कुछ ज्ञान है नहीं,
I have no knowledge on this topic,
और मैं मना कर दिया।
so I refused.
बट लेकिन बाद में विचार किया कि जो जानकारी है उसको बोल देना चाहिए।
But then later I thought that whatever I know on this topic, I should speak.
आप लोग संन्यास शब्द से परिचित हैं।
You all are familiar with the word sannyas.
इसका कई एक खंड हो सकता है,
We can divide this word in many ways.
लेकिन दो भाग में इसको बांटें।
But if you split it into two parts,
संन्यास,
sannyas,
दो शब्द है।
there are two words.
सम का अर्थ होता है सम्यक, भली भांति।
Sam means samyak, completely.
और दूसरा शब्द है न्यास।
And the other word is nyasa.
न्यास के अनेक अर्थ हैं।
Nyasa has many meanings.
मुख्य रूप से न्यास को त्याग के अर्थ में प्रयुक्त किया जाता है।
The primary meaning for the word nyasa is tyag, which is renunciation or sacrifice.
त्याग मतलब छोड़ना।
Tyag means to give up.
और संन्यास छोड़ने के अर्थ में है।
So sannyas means to give up.
संसार का त्याग करते हैं और संन्यास ग्रहण करते हैं।
To give up material existence and accept sannyas.
लेकिन संन्यास का जो न्यास शब्द है तो दूसरे अर्थ में भी प्रयुक्त होता है।
But in this word sannyas, the word nyas can also have other meanings.
न्यास मतलब रखना।
Nyas means to keep.
खूब अच्छा से उसको रखना, to keep properly, in proper way।
To keep it properly.
और हम अपने जीवन को सही स्थान पर नियुक्त करते हैं, रखते हैं, तो उसको संन्यास कहा जाएगा।
When we keep our life in the most appropriate place or engage in the most appropriate place.
न्यास रखने के अर्थ में प्रचलन में है।
So this is quite famous.
और कई एक jagah न्यास धरोहर के अर्थ में प्रयुक्त होता है। कहीं रखा गया सुरक्षित, और उसको न्यास कहते हैं।
So in many places it means that it has been kept in your protection. So it's called nyasa.
और दोनों अर्थ है संन्यास शब्द में सन्निहित है।
So both these meanings are included in the name or in the word sannyasa.
संसार के दृष्टि से विचार करें तो संन्यास पूरा पूरा त्याग के अर्थ में आता है।
If you look from the perspective of material life, then sannyas means to completely give up.
यहाँ तक इसका अर्थ ग्रहण किया जाता है कि इसको सामाजिक मृत्यु, सोशल डेथ ही करार दिया जाता है।
To some extent, even the meaning taken is that sannyas means social death.
यह एक महत्वपूर्ण पक्ष है।
And this is a very important approach or consideration for it.
बट लेकिन इससे भी महत्वपूर्ण पक्ष है संन्यास का अर्थ ठीक ढंग से न्यास करना, रखने के अर्थ में जो प्रयोग है वह।
But the more important meaning of the word sannyas is when you say nyas means to completely protect something.
हम अपने जीवन को कृष्ण के चरणों में रखते हैं, कृष्ण की सेवा में रखते हैं, और वास्तव में यही संन्यास है।
So when we keep our life at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, or when we place our life in the service of Lord Krishna, so this is the most correct meaning of word sannyas.
भगवान गीता में संन्यास को परिभाषित कर रहे हैं, काम्यानाम कर्मणाम न्यासम संन्यासम कवयो विदु।
Lord Krishna is defining the word sannyas in Bhagavad Gita.
जो कवि हैं, सूक्ष्मदर्शी हैं, और काम्य कर्म का त्याग को संन्यास कहते हैं।
The learned people or those who are philosophers, they say that to give up kamya karma is sannyas.
सभी कर्मों का त्याग संन्यास नहीं है।
Sannyas doesn't mean to give up all kinds of duties.
क्योंकि संन्यास के लिए दूसरे शब्द भी प्रचलन में हैं।
There are many other words which are also commonly taken in the place of the word sannyas.
आप एकादश स्कंध में पढ़ते हैं, नवा भवन ह्यर्थ सन्निस श्रमणा बात रस। सन्यासी के लिए श्रमण शब्द का प्रयोग किया जाता है।
In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the word
श्रमण
is used for sannyasi.
श्रम प्रचलित शब्द है,
Shrama is a commonly used word.
और संन्यास के लिए यति शब्द का भी प्रयोग किया जाता है।
And sannyas is also sometimes referred to as yati.
अब एक प्रश्न होगा कि विभिन्न शब्द क्यों प्रयुक्त किए जाते हैं।
So a question arises, why different words are used for this particular term?
देखिए, कोई पिक्चर आपको रिले करना भेजते हैं, टेलीकास्ट करते हैं, तो कैमरा को कभी इधर डालते हैं, कभी उधर डालते हैं, ऐसा होता है ना।
When you want to broadcast or telecast a particular picture, then you keep the camera at different angles and different positions.
तो संन्यास के विभिन्न पक्ष को प्रदर्शित करने के लिए, उसको उजागर करने के लिए, हाईलाइट करने के लिए विभिन्न शब्द का प्रयोग किया जाता है।
So to highlight the different aspects of sannyas, different words are used.
से प्रचलित शब्द है 4 आश्रम।
The commonly used terms are 4 ashrams.
और आश्रम का अर्थ ही है खूब अच्छा से परिश्रम करना।
Ashram means to endeavor very nicely.
तो सबके लिए ये सामान्य रूप से प्रयुक्त होता है आश्रम।
So this applies commonly to everyone, the word ashram.
लेकिन फिर सन्यासी के लिए यह जो चतुर्थ आश्रम है, और उसके लिए श्रमण शब्द का प्रयोग करते हैं।
But for the sannyasi, which is the 4th ashrama, the word shrama is used.
वह शब्द गृहस्थ के लिए प्रयुक्त नहीं होगा।
But that word is not used for a grihastha.
और यद्यपि आश्रम की व्यवस्था ही ऐसी है कि सबको अपने आत्मा के उत्थान के लिए परिश्रम करना है।
But all the ashrams are arranged in such a way that every individual has to work for the upliftment of the soul.
बट सन्यासी का विशेष रूप से यह दायित्व बनता है।
But for a sannyasi, this is the most prime duty.
एक तरह से कहा जाए तो सन्यासी का एकमात्र कर्तव्य यही है।
In other words, this is the only duty of a sannyasi.
और सन्यासी की जिम्मेवारी हो जाती है कि अपना भी उत्थान करे और दूसरे का भी उत्थान करे।
And this becomes the responsibility of a sannyasi to uplift oneself and also help others in the process of upliftment.
बहुत दृष्टि से ब्रह्मचारी और सन्यासी के जीवन शैली में बहुत अंतर नहीं है.
In many ways, in the life of a sannyasi and a brahmachari, there is not much difference.
एक बार कोई प्रश्न किया,
Once someone asked a question,
ब्रह्मचारी और सन्यासी में अंतर क्या है?
what is the difference between a brahmachari and a sannyasi?
और महाराज का शब्द है कि जो स्टूडेंट और टीचर में अंतर है वो ब्रह्मचारी और सन्यासी में अंतर है.
So Maharaj, he himself replied in this way that whatever is the difference between a student and a teacher, that's the difference between a brahmachari and a sannyasi.
और सन्यासी का एकमात्र कर्तव्य है अपने आत्मा के उत्थान के लिए परिश्रम करना.
So this is the prime duty and only duty of a sannyasi, to work or endeavor for the benefit of the soul.
वह सदैव यत्नशील होता है, यत्न में लगा रहता है, इसी से उसको यति कहते हैं.
And because that person is always endeavoring for one's benefit, is also called yati.
तो अपने को वह ठीक स्थान पर ठीक ढंग से रखा है और इसलिए उसको सन्यासी कहा जाता है.
And because he is keeping himself in the right place, in the right manner, is also called a sannyasi.
और ठीक से रखने का कुछ व्यवहारिक पक्ष है.
And to keep it in the proper way, there is a practical consideration.
अपने इंद्रियों को पूर्ण रूप से वह भगवान के सेवन में विनियोग करेगा, लगाएगा.
It means that he will engage his senses completely and properly in the service of the Supreme Lord.
और कुछ निषेध पक्ष भी है.
And there are some provisions.
निषेध पक्ष में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है कि किसी प्रकार के हिंसा से उसको बचना है.
And in prohibitions, the most important is that he should keep away from any kind of violence, hinsa.
किसी का शरीर से, मन से, वचन से किसी प्रकार से हिंसा नहीं होनी चाहिए.
There should not be any violence through one's body, through one's mind, or through one's speech.
यह पक्ष बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. अहिंसा का पक्ष बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है सन्यासी जीवन के लिए.
So for the life of a sannyasi, this consideration of ahimsa, the quality of non-violence, is very important.
इसी को हमेशा ध्यान में रखने के लिए सन्यासी त्रिदंड धारण करता है.
And to keep this always in one's own mind, a sannyasi carries a tridanda.
त्रिदंड का और भी महत्व है.
Tridanda has other importance as well.
लेकिन सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है कि उसको हिंसा से बचना है.
But the most important is he should keep away from violence.
अपने इंद्रियों पर नियंत्रण रखना है.
Should control one's senses.
और इसी से वो त्रिदंड धारण करता है.
And that's how he carries the tridanda.
त्रिदंड, तीन को दमित करना, तीन को दंड देना.
Tridanda means three. So to subdue three things.
और सन्यासी अपने शरीर, मन और वचन को नियंत्रित रखता है, दमित रखता है.
So sannyasi subdues one's mind, words and body.
वास्तव में शरीर, वचन और मन के नियंत्रण से व्यक्ति सन्यासी होता है. त्रिदंड से सन्यासी नहीं होता है.
So actually a sannyasi is someone who has subdued the mind, the body and the words, not someone who is just carrying the tridanda.
सन्यासी के लिए यति शब्द का प्रयोग किया जाता है.
for the sannyasi, the word yati is also used.
यति का अर्थ है कि वह कृष्ण के अनुशीलन में सदैव यत्नशील रहता है.
Yati means that in the process of cultivating Krishna consciousness, he is always endeavoring.
और इस दृष्टि से विचार करने पर हम देखते हैं कि परम पूज्य भक्ति धीर दामोदर महाराज शब्द के वास्तविक पात्र हैं. वे उनका व्यवहार यति शब्द के अनुरूप है.
And from this perspective, if you look at His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj, then he is a worthy bearer of the name Yati.
महाराज से अनेक लोग बहुत घनिष्ठ रूप से संबंधित हैं. इनके व्यक्तित्व का परिचय उनको है.
Those who are intimately connected with Maharaj, they know about this aspect of his personality.
थोड़ा थोड़ा हमारा भी संबंध है.
I also have some little relationship.
एंड यहाँ तक हम महाराज का अवलोकन किए हैं, उनको देखे हैं.
And so far what I have observed Maharaj,
हमको उनके व्यक्तित्व का कुछ कुछ चीज बहुत प्रभावित करता है.
so from his personality, certain things have influenced me a lot.
जैसे मैं कहा कि यति यत्नशील या श्रमणा परिश्रम, और इस दृष्टि से महाराज वास्तविक अर्थ में यति हैं.
Just like I said, if you look at the word yati, means one who is always endeavoring, cultivating Krishna consciousness. Maharaj deserves this word very well.
जो भी नज़दीक में हैं तो इनके दिनचर्या को देखते हैं.
Whoever closely serves him and observes his daily routine,
कितना जल्दी जग जाते हैं
he wakes up very early in the morning
और दिन भर कुछ न कुछ करते रहते हैं.
and whole day is busy doing something or else.
कभी कभी मैं देखता हूँ
Sometimes I observe
संध्या के समय उनका शरीर थक चुका है,
by evening he is quite physically tired,
लेकिन कई एक लोग आते हैं और फिर भी वे बैठे रहते हैं.
and many people come to see him and he is still sitting.
कुछ पूछते हैं तो उसको बतलाते हैं.
And if people ask or inquire, he replies.
और अपने मन को शास्त्र के अनुशीलन में लगाए हैं.
And keeps his mind always in the process of cultivating the teachings of the scriptures.
हमेशा शास्त्र के किसी न किसी विषय पर चिंतन करते रहते हैं.
So always meditating on some or other topic of the scriptures.
सन्यासी का जीवन भ्रमणमय होता है.
The life of a sannyasi is to travel.
भ्रमण ट्रेवलिंग. और ऐसा माना जाता है कि कोई विरक्त घूमता रहता है तो वह पवित्र रहता है.
It is said that if someone is a renunciate and he keeps on traveling, that he remains pure.
उदाहरण दिया जाता है ये बहता पानी रमता जोगी.
Example is given of a flowing river. The water that flows remains pure.
जो
Similarly,
जिस पानी में धारा है बह रहा है तो उसको शुद्ध माना जाता है.
the water which has current or the flow is considered pure water.
और महाराज घूमते रहते हैं.
So Maharaj is also always traveling.
लेकिन सन्यासी को घूमने की व्यवस्था है, उनको निर्देश है कि सन्यासी को घूमना चाहिए, लेकिन हमेशा केवल घूमते ही नहीं रहना चाहिए.
Yes, it is true that a sannyasi is given the instruction to travel around, but it doesn't mean that a sannyasi should only travel around.
एक अनुपात निर्धारित किया गया है। 8 महीने सन्यासी घूमता है, 4 महीना एक जगह रहता है, इंटरनल कल्टीवेशन।
So a measurement is given that for 8 months a sannyasi should travel, and for 4 months should stay in one place and do internal cultivation.
महाराज के जीवन पर विचार करें, इनका जो शेड्यूल्ड है उसमें मायापुर वृंदावन जरूर रहता है।
So if you see Maharaj's schedule, you will always notice that there is Vrindavan also always in it and Mayapur also always in it.
और महाराज धाम में आते हैं तो बड़े स्थिरता से रहते हैं।
And when he comes to Dham, he stays for a good amount of time steadily.
और धाम का सेवन करते हैं।
And he serves the Dham.
एक बार हम लोगों को कहीं जाना था, चैतन्य विहार से गिरिराज अपार्टमेंट से महाराज के साथ कहीं जाना था।
So one day we had to go somewhere from Giriraj apartment in Chaitanya Vihar.
और महाराज अपने रूम से निकले
So Maharaj came out of his room.
और चप्पल नहीं पहने।
He was not wearing the slippers.
तो हमको लगा कि महाराज भूल गए।
So I thought that Maharaj forgot to wear the slippers.
तो मैं चाह रहा था कि इनको मैं रिमाइंड कर दूं, बतला दूं।
So I was thinking of reminding him.
लेकिन सच्चाई यह है कि महाराज कहीं जाते हैं तो चप्पल पहनते ही नहीं।
But the truth is that when Maharaj is going for some parikrama or something, he doesn't wear the slippers.
जब इस तथ्य की जानकारी हुई तब महाराज के भीतर के भावना का मैं अनुमान कर लिया।
So when I came to know this fact, so then I understood his internal consciousness.
कोई लोग हैं कि बहुत चीज घोषित करते हैं, डिक्लेयर करते हैं।
Some people are there who have the nature to declare.
बट लेकिन कुछ लोग होते हैं कि अपने भावना को गुप्त रखते हैं।
But some people keep their mood very confidential.
बहुत भावनाएं हैं महाराज के जो प्रकट नहीं दिखता है।
So similarly, Maharaj has many such deep internal moods which he does not manifest externally.
लेकिन जो जानकार व्यक्ति हैं लक्षण से उसका कुछ अनुमान कर लेते हैं।
But those who are knowledgeable, they can understand that from the symptoms those are visible.
महाराज का धाम के प्रति जो प्रेम है, शास्त्र के प्रति प्रेम है, भक्तों के प्रति लगाव है, ये सब पक्ष हमको बहुत प्रिय है, बहुत प्रेरणा दायक है।
So Maharaj's attachment to the Dham, Maharaj's attachment to the scriptures, Maharaj's attachment to the devotees, these are some of the aspects which are very dear and very inspiring for me.
महाराज के विषय में अनेक बातें हैं।
There are many things to say about Maharaj.
लेकिन बोलने वाले भी अनेक हैं।
But there are also many people to say.
समय का जैसा सीमा निर्धारित किया गया है और उसके अनुसार मैं अपने वाणी को यही विराम देता हूँ।
So considering the duration of time given, I'll complete my talk here.
हरे कृष्ण।
His Holiness Vrindavan Chandra Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. We thank Maharaj. We also thank His Grace Marshal Vishnu Prabhu for very nicely translating. So we learned so nicely from the scriptures about sannyasi, how he always endeavoring hard for cultivating Krishna consciousness, and we also heard about Srila Gurudev, his qualities. So after this, we are going to hear from His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj. Maharaj has sent his offering online because I think just yesterday he left. We are there in Vrindavan. So by the time Mataji is going to play the video. So His Holiness Mahavishnu Maharaj joined ISKCON 1971, Srila Prabhupada disciple. And in his initial days, he preached vigorously in Bangladesh, Nepal for collecting the funds for making temples. So now we have very famous, very big temples at Dhaka and in Nepal, led by Maharaj. And Maharaj is very much known for his unlimited, continuous Hainam Sankirtan. We see in Naudi Mandal Parikrama. Srila Gurudev told us that Maharaj cannot sit even for 1 minute without doing kirtan. If he is eating or he just 1 minute rest, always. His fingers are always on accordion and always chanting the holy name. That is the quality of a great devotee. The holy name is dancing on the tongue. So we are going to hear from His Mahavishnu Maharaj. After that, we will hear from His Grace Ishwar Prabhu. And we continually hear from the devotees. You ready?
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for inviting me to say a few words for the Krishna Dhira Damodara Swami. My pleasure. So, the obvious song that is very talented, and he's been setting a good example for the last 20 years. So that's very admirable. And I wish him good fortune in his future life as a sannyasi. Now, when I hear about Maharaja traditions in the Bhagavad Gita, I think of the 16th chapter, Divine Demonic Natures, which describes the stages of the qualification of a sannyasi. I think the Holiness Dhira Damodara Swami was describing qualifications. Abhayam, Shuddha Jnana Yoga Vivasiti. So on this occasion, I'd like to just read what Prabhupada says about these qualifications, because you can't do better than that than hear what Prabhupada said. No one is speculate or anything like that. But we can just read what Prabhupada said about Abhayam Shuddha Jnana Yoga Vivasiti, because sannyasa is the head of the financial institution. It's the causes that he has to have. For a sannyasi, the first qualification should be fearlessness. Because the sannyasi has to be alone, without any support or guarantee of support, he has to depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Supreme Personality of God. If one thinks
Hare Krishna. I think audio is more better. It's more clear. Continue.
First qualification should be fearlessness. Because the sannyasi has to be alone, without any support or guarantee of support, he has to depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Supreme Personality unconditionally accept the Buddha's order of life. One must be fully convinced that Krishna, or the Supreme Personality of God, in his localized aspect of the Paramatma, is always within. That he is seeing everything and he always knows what one intends to do. One must thus have firm conviction that Krishna as Paramatma will take care of a soul surrendered to him. I shall never be alone, one should think. Even if I live in the darkest region of a forest, I shall be accompanied by Krishna and he will give me all protection. That conviction is called abhaya, fearlessness. This state of mind is necessary for a person in the renounced order of life. Sri Prabhupada exemplified that fearlessness going on along to America. He said, I never felt alone like Guru Maharaj was by my side. Because Guru Maharaj is living super soul. Then, through the Sattva, then he has to purify his existence. There are so many rules and regulations to be followed in the renounced order of life. Most important of all, a sannyasi is strictly forbidden to have any intimate connection with a woman. He is even forbidden to talk with a woman in a secluded place. Lord Chaitanya was an ideal sannyasi, and when he was at Puri, his 29 devotees could not even come near to offer their respects. They were advised to bow down from a distance. This is not a sign of hatred for women as a class, but if it is but it is a stricture imposed on the sannyasi not to have excuse me, maybe we can end this.
Yes.
Jump in. The next item is Jnana Yoga Siddhi. Sorry. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Then he has to purify his existence. There are so many rules and regulations to be followed in the renounced order of life. Most important of all, the sannyasi is strictly forbidden to have any intimate relationship with a woman. He is even forbidden to talk with a woman in a secluded place. Lord Chaitanya was an ideal sannyasi, and when he was at Puri, his feminine devotees could not even come near to offer their respects. They were advised to bow down from a distant place. This is not a sign of hatred for women as a class, but it is a stricture imposed on the sannyasi not to have close connections with women. One has to follow the rules and regulations of particular states of life in order to purify his existence. For a sannyasi, intimate relations with a woman in possession of wealth or sense gratification are strictly forbidden. The ideal sannyasi was the Lord Chaitanya himself. And we can learn from his life that he was very strict in regards to women. Although he is considered to be the most liberal incarnation of God, accepting the most fallen conditioned souls, he strictly followed the rules and regulations of the sannyas order of life in connection with associating with women. One of his personal associates, namely Dr. Haridas, was associated with Lord Chaitanya along with his other confidential personal associates. But somehow or other, this Dr. Haridas looked lustily on a young woman, and Lord Chaitanya was so strict that he at once rejected him from the society of his personal associates. Lord Chaitanya said, for a sannyasi or anyone who is aspiring to get out out of the classes of material nature and trying to elevate himself to the spiritual nature and go back home back to God. For him, looking towards material possessions and women for sex gratification, not even enjoying them, but just looking towards them with such a propensity, is so condemned that he had better commit suicide before experiencing such illicit desires. So these are the processes of purification. I am Shurasatrovsky. The next item is Jnana Yoga Nirvasati. Being engaged in the cultivation of knowledge, Sadhana's action for distributing knowledge to the householders and others who have forgotten their real life of spiritual advancement. The sannyasi is supposed to beg from door to door for his livelihood, but this does not mean that he is a beggar. Humility is also one of the qualifications of a transcendently situated person. And out of sheer humility, the sannyasi goes from door to door, not exactly for the purpose of begging, but to see the householders and awaken them to Krishna consciousness. This is the duty of a sannyasi. If he's actually advanced, and so one class spiritual master, he should preach Krishna consciousness with logic and understanding. If one is not advanced, he should not accept the renounced order of life. But even if one has accepted the renounced order of life without sufficient knowledge, he should engage himself fully in hearing from a bona fide spiritual master to cultivate knowledge. A sannyasi or one in the renounced order of life must be situated in fearlessness, Shuddha purity, and Jnana Yoga Nirvasati. That's from the 16th chapter. So it's good for us to remember this. Here is Bhakti Prabhupada and Gurukha Maharaj, peace God preaching. We don't run into one another very often. You know, sometimes we have circuits. Sometimes we go to Brazil, sometimes we go through Brazil, he's not there, and then we go to Argentina, sometimes we're in Africa. But we're all fixing following Prabhupada's instructions. And I can see this is a collective Dhira Damodara Swami. It's a great occasion. I'd like to encourage you all in this celebration. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So the Holiness Mahavishnu Maharaj mentioned three very, very important points, very powerful points from Bhagavad Gita. The three qualities which a sannyasi cultivates always, and he has. Abhayam, second, Shuddha, Sattvam, and third is Jnana Yogena Nirvasati. So once I remember 2019, Srila Gurudev was coming from Nigeria to India. And when Srila Gurudev started from Nigeria, that day was Ekadashi. And we know that Srila Gurudev always keeps Nirjala Ekadashi. We are traveling for 15 hours. And then we went to see Srila Gurudev at Delhi airport. And we had so much juice, some cake, because we knew that Srila Gurudev is keeping Nirjala fast and is traveling from 15 hours. But the day he arrived in New Delhi, that day was Ekadashi in India. So Srila Gurudev asked me, what is this? Gurudev juice to breakfast. Today is Ekadashi. And then Srila Gurudev chanted 64 rounds and continued. He went from New Delhi, traveled 4 hours to Vrindavan, settled his room, put his deities. So then that day I understood a little bit small what is the meaning of this word Sattva Shuddhi, purifying one's existence. Srila Gurudev continued for 2 days, complete Nirjal, chanted both the day, and third day he went for Mangal Aarti at Krishna Balram temple. Hari Bol! Just to adding to the point of, I'm just getting remembrance of His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj saying, Param Pujya Vrindavan Maharaj was saying that three danda, subduing three things. That is the meaning of sannyasi. It's not only taking the danda, but subduing these three things. So Param Pujya Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj says very strongly, he was saying especially at his last moment when he was leaving this world, he was saying that sannyasi should not just have the danda, wear dress and go to the temples and have nice prasadam, rajbhog and take the donations. But a sannyasi must be able to shook the environment of that temple. He should be able to raise the consciousness of the temple. So I still remember the very powerful statement of Srila Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj about the sannyasi. So I was able to coordinate with Vrindavan Swami Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So now we invite His Grace Ishwar Prabhu to speak, and our now onwards we will be more hearing about Srila Gurudev, His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj, special contribution as a sannyasi and as a leader to ISKCON society in the Srila Prabhupada movement. And now onwards we have many speakers to speak. So we are going to hear. So we have, as we have less time always, we will be keeping 4 to 5 minutes are free. In 4 minutes, we will kindly remind the speakers. So we can be precise so that we all can get chance to hear from all the speakers. After Ishwar Prabhuji, we will hear from His Grace Shivas Prabhuji. So we can be ready, Shanti Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Vasudevaya Devakinam Govindaya Namo Vasudeva Sundara Kansacharana Devaki Paranam Krishna Vijayaguru Vanchakavrata Vista Vasudeva So for this function, I was given the topic to speak on. The topic of sannyasi Kali. It's mentioned that actually when Mahaprabhu was speaking with Jankazi, so Jankazi raised this point. Actually, because when Mahaprabhu was telling Jankazi that the idea of cow killing is a more simple thing. So Jankazi raised this point by citing this verse. Ashwadegam Gavalama Sannyasi Parapachakam Deva Lina Surpacham Kalupacham. So there are 5 things which are forbidden culture. So those 5 things are the horse sacrifice, cow sacrifice, accepting sannyas, offering oblations of flesh to one's forefathers, and begetting a child in the womb of one's brother's wife. So these are the 5 things which are basically forbidden Kali. Now, if this is the case, why comes the Vaishnavas? They are liberally taking sannyas. How come? if one reasons very deeply, one will discover that this verse, this verse is actually coming from one particular Purana. And that Purana is Brahma-Bharata Purana. This is where this verse is cited. And there's a purpose for that. However, there are many other Puranas, many Upanishads, many Shrutis, which do not stop this way. During the conversation between Maharaja and Dr. Bhakti, so it's mentioned, Samavachaka Devakya, Brahmacharya, Samatha, Gribalit, Gribucharani Balit, Rani Batra Prabhajit, Dari Vichar Brahmacharya Deva, Purabhajit, Griyava, Ata, Pudara Bhakti, Zatako, Vashatako, Vatsanam, Bilvamangala Thakura, Yuddha Hari Bhagavad, Kadavira Bhagavad. So the Janak Maharaj asked the great sage of Bhakti that, oh my dear Lord, please explain to me the qualifications and regulations governing the acceptance of sannyas. So Janak replied, first of all, strictly observing the vow of Brahmacharya, one should study Vedas in the home of one's Guru. Then, after appropriately observing the occupations, duties of the Grihastha ashram, one should accept Vanaprastha. Finally, after Vanaprastha, one should accept sannyas. Before entering the Grihastha ashram, if one develops a powerful sense of detachment from material life, while still in the state of brahmacharya, then one should accept sannyas directly from the brahmacharya ashram. Otherwise, as soon as one's vairagya is very strong, it is quite appropriate to accept sannyas from the stage of grihastha or vanaprastha. In other words, the principle is that one may accept sannyas from the position of any ashram upon developing genuine detachment. Whether one's study of the 6 limbs of the Vedas is complete or not, having completed one's study of the Vedas, whether one has taken birth as prescribed by the Vedas or not, having ignited the sacrificial fire, whether one has duly dismissed the presiding deity of the sacrificial fire or not, whether one is married or a widow, in any condition of life, one can accept sannyas when the intense vairagya manifests in one's character. So this is the criteria. The criteria is the detachment from material life. So it is one is detached from material life, and one is ready to. One is determined to develop love for Krishna prema. Then one can accept sannyas. Now, this we can see these statements coming from the scriptures, and there are many quite innumerable confirmation of this. That it's not that sannyas life is forbidden in the age of Kali. This prescription was stated for a particular purpose, but not for all purpose, not for all time, not for all circumstances. So, and of course, people are very like smarters especially, who are very much attached to the regulations of the Vedas. So they quote this verse, but the inspiration, they know the essence. So, In respect to Bhakti Dhira Damodara, actually is the first sannyas from Africa. I took a sannyas in 2005, 2025, 2 years ago. But his name was actually not sannyas list since 1997. Yeah, that's when Bhakti Dhira put his name on the sannyas list. I don't know what it is. So it means from the time he joined the movement, he was always maintaining that spirit of detachment. And since he took some years, I've been observing him. I think he has been very, very, very much strict in the observance of Sannyasa life. He's been very, very strict on that. So, because the main principle of Sannyasa is not being attached to any form of self-gratification. So that's the very good criteria. Not the tradition of self-gratification, are simply attached to the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. So it's setting a very good example. So please, others can also follow the same example. Sannyasa. And I hope some of us also, hopefully we can also come to this stage of taking serious forward. Because we have such a problem, we take it serious very soon. Very bold. So Maharaja, he set the stage. Now we are having one for Sannyasa from Africa, one for Sannyasa coming. And this is very good for the propagation of Krishna consciousness. And this is always a good person desire. Well, anyway, we keep bugging me. Anyway, so thank you very much for inviting me. Yes, Prabhupada ki. Yes, Prabhupada ki. Maharaja ki. Thank you very much.
His Grace Ishar Prabhu mentioned about not the quality of detachment is required, intense vairagya, and determined to cultivate Krishna prema. These two qualities, yes, a person should go for the sannyas life. So we are remembering one day, 2020, March, the Holiness Vrindavan Maharaja, His Grace Vishnu Prabhu, we all went for Govardhan Parikrama at night. I think that was our first Parikrama at night, Govardhan Parikrama, with Srila Gurudev. So we reached 6 o'clock Govardhan and we started with Gaur Aarti. And then Srila Gurudev started leading, doing kirtan and dance, and we ended with 6-hour dance. We ended the Parikrama by 12 o'clock at night. Back to Govardhan. And then we all went back for places at Vrindavan. So I and Vishnu Prabhu, we were there with Srila Gurudev at Giriraj's apartment, 3rd floor, I remember. So we reached around 1 o'clock and every devotee completely dead. They were all dead because 6-hour march, heat, Govardhan Parikrama, 22 kilometers, and then Srila Gurudev went to take bath. So I, as our duty, as servant, I took the beddings of Srila Gurudev and put the beddings that now Srila Gurudev will take bath and take some rest till Mangala Aarti, go to Mangala Aarti. And Vishnu went to his side room and then Srila Gurudev took bath and came around 1:20 a.m. and he saw me nicely putting bed. What is this? It's morning, time for japa. I was completely bewildered. I also thought to join Srila Gurudev in japa. So I sat for 5 minutes, one round, and then I slept, I don't know when. And I woke up at 3:30 after 2 hours. And Srila Gurudev looked at me. Then I went to my room and I slept. And I woke up at 6 o'clock. and Srila Gurudev chanted and went to Mangal Aarti with Vishnu Prabhu. And morning 8 o'clock that day we had to go to Kanpur for preaching 2020. It was Kanpur Gaurapurnima. So no sleeping, complete, so we can understand the quality of Satya Samsuddhi, purifying the existence, the extreme detachment. So due to some reasons we are not able to play the video of His Grace Shivas Vanchari Prabhuji. So we have His Grace Rameshwar Prabhu's video now, Ramayapur. His Grace Rameshwar Prabhu is one of very great exalted disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji was one of the main person for the dignity of Los Angeles studies and one of the main person for the book distribution across all over the world. And he is so humble and so genuine Vaishnava. We are seeing from last 2 years, he is Srila Prabhupada disciple, not a disciple, he is one of the great disciple of Srila Prabhupada, very glorious one. And Prabhuji used to attend complete Bhakti Shastri, listening from Srila Gurudev from last 2 years. He was coming for every day for 4 hours listening Srila Gurudev. So we are going to hear from His Grace Rameshwar Prabhu about Srila Gurudev. Hari Bol.
Dear devotees, Hare Krishna. So my basically glories to Srila Prabhupada. My name is Rameshwar Das. I'm a Prabhupada disciple since 1970. And I'm recording this glorification of Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami from Sri Mayapur. I've known Maharaja only as a sannyasi. I did not have the opportunity to know him before he took sannyas. Of course, I knew Bhakti Dhira Damodara first, even before he took sannyas. And in my 54 years in ISKCON now, I've come to appreciate the great need for sannyasis who are great followers of Srila Prabhupada, great students of Srila Prabhupada's books, great teachers of Srila Prabhupada's books, in the mood of Prabhupada's followers, that you can't have a more ecstatic, enlightened follower than Bhakti Dhira Damodara. So, in this wonderful, glorious disciple line, I have come to know Maharaj. And today is the occasion of his 20th anniversary of taking vows for sannyas. In our movement, sannyasis are respected because they not only renounced sense pleasure and mind pleasure of this material world, but they have deep realizations to teach others. They get very excited, enthused, committed to such transcendental devotion to Krishna and giving up, even spitting on material sense gratification. Maharaja is such a sannyasi. I have studied under him. I studied at his feet actually, taking Bhakti Shastri courses which he taught. And I was honored to have him as a teacher, and honored to hear his kirtans, his bhajans, his transcendental explanations of Prabhupada's books, and how he enlightened the entire class that he was speaking to. I know him in that way, and I know he is such an empowered preacher of Srila Prabhupada's message, and he is empowered to enthuse devotees to spread Krishna consciousness. That makes him one of the rarest of devotees in our movement. I offer my full respects and obeisances and and humble service at His Lord's feet on this wonderful occasion. I pray, Lord Missionary and to Srila Prabhupada, that he had another, let's say, 50 years. Whoa! As a sannyasi preacher within our movement. Just think of what he can accomplish. So my obeisances to you, Maharaj, my love to you, and I look forward to attending more of your classes in the future. My Home Institute Bhakti Shastri classes. Thank you, Maharaj, on this glorious day. I'm always envious of all the devotees who are with you. But I feel you. I can feel you from my recollection of those wonderful classes you gave. Thank you again. Hare Krishna.
So His Grace Rameshwar Prabhu emphasized that currently we need the great followers of Srila Prabhupada's teachings, Srila Prabhupada's books. That is the expectation of Rameshwar Prabhu from the society. And Prabhuji very nicely appreciated Srila Gurudev for his teachings, the scriptures. And you are saying that Srila Gurudev is empowered to enthuse the devotees. I remember 7 years back, we were in VIG and Srila Gurudev was giving Bhakti Dhira class for Srimad Bhagavatam. He was teaching first canto, and I was there attending class at backside. And Srila Gurudev made one statement which I would like to just repeat. He said that how to read Srimad Bhagavatam. So he said we should read Srimad Bhagavatam from first canto till 9th canto very nicely in such a way that when we reach 10th canto, we enter into the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Krishna is going to forest with his cowherd boy, and we also go with him. That is the meaning of we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam from first to 9th canto. That still I remember, and that is one of our life's goal, that one day we come to this level. So we move next now. We invite His Grace Sarvashanti Prabhuji to continue his offering. As His Grace Ishwar Prabhu was mentioning, His Grace Sarvashanti Prabhuji's Srila Gurudev is his sannyas mentor. Prabhuji is taking the mentorship, the instructions, the guidance, the teachings from Srila Gurudev, and very soon Prabhuji is going to take the sannyas.
Chakshurunmilitam tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Dhira Swami Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachayani Nivishesha Shunyavali Paschatya Resatani. Hare Krishna. This is a wonderful occasion by all means, because we are gathered to honor a Vaishnava. Not any kind of Vaishnava, but a Vaishnava of substance. My contact with Srila Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj began unknowingly through his own spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj, who used to visit us in South Africa. Having had his darshan, first visually he appeared around the corner at the university, regal, happy. Devotees were throwing flower petals as he walked. And his talk was that he had completed 34-country tour promoting his book, Spiritual Warrior. And when he spoke from that book, in my young mind, I could understand, wow, he is traveling around the world sharing truth. And I aspired as a young man, that would be wonderful to do. By his influence, I was able to join the ashram. 2005, I was fortunate to be in Mayapur, having done Bhakti Shastri there. And one day I chanced and met Maharaj in one of the Prasadam halls. As brahmacharis, we generally study the sannyasi list the candidate list. And after I had met him, he had mentioned he was Parikshit Prabhu. Of course, he didn't say that. And I got back to the ashram and I realized I'd seen a name there, Parikshit Das. And he mentioned that he was taking sannyas. And I was thinking, how is this young brahmachari taking sannyas? Because Maharaj, very handsome. Because of his Krishna consciousness, it shows in his body, in his face. And it happened on that Gopurnima that again I met him, and he was on his way to the Gurukul to pick up his danda and cloth. And by the mercy of the Super Soul, I felt impelled and inspired to accompany him to go and do that and bring. We waited for that sannyasa initiation, a proud moment, very inspirational moment, coming out of Africa, seeing another African devotee in Mayapur, welcomed by the International Society of Devotees, first African sannyasi, whom when I met, no false ego, just a simple, enthused, but you could pick up a deep personality. To glorify Maharaj, what can we say? He's a transformational preacher. I listen to his classes, you feel that you want to do something, you want to change something after that class. Maharaj also is a happy devotee. Kirtan is where you see Maharaj fully blossom into the happiest Vaishnava, young man. He's not young in physicality, he's 67 maybe. But the spiritual spark in touch with Krishna is beyond the conditions of the body. And therefore, although there's so much stricture and rules and regulations for sannyasis, renunciation, but Maharaj, we were fortunate that he became spiritual master. By being spiritual master, he became a father to so many of us. And because of that nature, he is enlivening so many of us, giving shelter to so many of us. And his example is that we have to catch up. I was saying to him the other day, I can't believe it's been 20 years. And I was thinking how much Maharaj has accomplished in this 20 years. I had lost touch with him after that initiation, being in Swaziland. That time there was hardly any internet to follow. But then I again heard about him from different devotees who happened to meet him when they come to Mayapur. And again, because of his impact of love, compassion, joy, conviction in Shastra, and transformative power, I was drawn again to his lotus feet. And to my great good fortune, Maharaj agreed to be my sannyas guru and mentor. And already he has saved me from big Maya. He knows how he has saved me, and I am fully confident how by his shelter, even a lowly wretch like myself may somehow offer some service in Srila Prabhupada's movement. So we are very joyful, very happy to be here and to get the savor of hearing and sharing some words to try and glorify His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj. Srila Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaja ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande.
Great Saraswati Prabhu ki. So we are very eagerly waiting to see Prabhuji in sannyas dress and waiting to hear also many more pastimes from Prabhuji. So now we are moving ahead and we are going to hear from His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj. Maharaj is Srila Gurudev Godbrother, disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj from West Africa. Maharaj is now Scriptural Master and is traveling many countries along with West Africa, goes to Mauritius and other countries, Brazil, and continuing his preaching. We were very fortunate to have Maharaj for 1 year with us during Corona period. That time we heard from Maharaj. So now we are going to hear from Maharaj. So we also thank His Holiness Vrindavan Swami Maharaj for his presence and very enlightening lecture about the meaning of yati and sannyasi. His Holiness Vrindavan Swami Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. We are going down. We have to go up. So, after this, we are going to hear from Her Grace Anuradha Mataji. Mataji is prepared for this. So, Sannyasa Anniversary is from South Africa. Last year I was listening from His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj that when Maharaj was Brahmachari, His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj visited South Africa. And Bhakti Maharaj was giving class, Brahmachari class. Many Brahmachari were there. And Maharaj says, all of you are going to become sannyasis in future. If you are not ready, please leave my class. Don't be there. So Maharaj says, I am fortunate. I followed Bhakti Maharaj's instruction. Yeah. So we are going to listen from Maharaj. After that we are ready with Mataji.
Anniversary of Hare Krishna devotees in the program, all the way to His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj, all the way to His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj, all the way to Srila. Yes, we are blessed and honored and have the privilege to say something on this auspicious occasion of the 20th Anniversary of His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Sannyasa. So, Maharaj is an example. He took a very, very strong decision, very difficult decision. Because when our Gurudev, our Jiva's Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Maharaj was living, at that time, Bhakti Dhira Maharaj, he entered. He came in as a sannyasi, the first sannyas in Africa. So we are very proud of him. He made a very terrible decision, just like Devavrata. Bhishma before was Devavrata. So he made a vow to remain celibate in the whole entire life, his entire life. So it is a very terrible vow. So all the demigods, they shouted, Bhishma, Bhishma, Bhishma. Means he has made a terrible vow. So how someone can practice spiritual life, sometimes can maybe due to some circumstance try to be brahmachari or celibate, but taking a decision to become a celibate the whole life, that was unique in Africa. So, but personally, when I look at his life is always austerity, his life is always risk, his life is always determination, things that nobody can take off. Maharaja will do that. So, celebrating his 20th anniversary is not a joke, it's very serious. Because we can say celebrate brahmachari 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, but 20, they go before that. Maharaja was, celebrate since his entire life. Before 20 is gone. You know, and he always being a brahmachari, strong brahmachari. So being a sannyasi is very, very, very amazing, and we all follow his example. Now, after him, many also are following paths. Bhakti Dhira Damodara came in, I came in. So we are trying to always see him as our example, our leader. Yeah, because this vow he took, it is not a joke. It's not a joke. So he had been consistent in his vow, his devotional principles. His brahmachari life, his sannyasi life, always strict, always determination to continue. Please, is Guru Maharaj. So yes, it is an example to follow for us. So we pray that Krishna and Gurudev keep blessing him, so that he keep a vow and continue to bless more souls, more devotees, either in Africa or in the whole world. And see now is worship everywhere, everywhere he goes. Is very, very famous. Why? Because he's very strict, very sincere. He's a genuine person. He's a genuine brahmachari. He's a genuine sannyasi. He's a genuine guru. So all goes to His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami, Dhira Damodara Hare Krishna.
Holiness Bhakti Dhira Maharaj ki, Srila Gurudev ki. So Maharaj was mentioning about Srila Gurudev being very austere. So once Gurudev was telling His Grace Hari Gopal Prabhu in Mayapur that a sannyasi is one who doesn't depend upon sabji, dal, chapati and puri. He depends on air. It depends upon air. So we also thank His Grace Ishwar Prabhu for his presence and teaching us about the qualities of sannyasi. So Srila Gurudev was telling us that sannyasi, the true sannyasi is one who just depends upon air. So going ahead, we have now Her Grace Anuradha Mataji. Mataji is very senior disciple of Holiness Gaura Sai Maharaj. And Mataji also taught us Nikara devotion in a very devotional way. And Mataji always likes to come with Srila Gurudev for parikramas. And she is very fond of Srila Gurudev. Always comes, she is very grateful to Mataji. So in 2016, one devotee asked a question in Bhagavatam class in Mayapur. Maybe some of you may remember, who in Mayapur. He asked Maharaj, when I should be in body, when I should be in soul. You told so much about that we should be very strong. When I should be in body, because I am body, I am very not a great soul. So Srila Gurudev answered, we should eat, we should sleep, and we should rest. We should eat, we should sleep, and we should rest because we are neophyte. So then everybody clapped in whole Maya temple. the Bhagavatam class. So Srila Gurudev personally not just speaking any single word which he is not demonstrating in our life. We are going to hear from Her Grace Anara Mataji. After that we have His Grace Tribhunath Prabhuji. Be ready.
Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasinubhyavaccha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namaha. First up, I'd like to thank everyone for allowing me to be a part of this amazing festival today. I feel really privileged and I feel really honored to hear so much beautiful glorification and the qualities of His Maharaja Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami. I don't actually know him so well, but for me that doesn't matter. Like we've heard so many rules and regulations of sannyas and strictness and austerities, and these kind of things are actually very frightening to me. I don't know, maybe because I'm in a woman's body, but you know, the word sannyas is something very awe-inspiring, and as a young devotee, when I learned it's only for men, women don't take sannyas, I was really relieved. Because, you know, the idea of not sleeping, not eating, cold bath, and, you know, sleeping on the floor, I'm thinking, oh dear Lord, how would that be possible for me? I mean, we hear about the amazing renunciation of Raghunath Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and to me it was bewildering for a long, long time before I could get a better understanding. You know how, of course, we can understand how he was really eager to want to run, to be with Lord Chaitanya, and then when he was there in Jagannath Puri, first he took a little bit of Jagannath Prashadam, then he was begging at the Simha Dwar gate, then he would go to the charity booth, but then he was going where they're throwing the refuse, you know, that the prashadam that not even the cows would touch, right? And every time Raghunath Goswami's renunciation increased, Mahaprabhu became more and more pleased. And I couldn't comprehend it. I was thinking, how is it? He's giving pain to his body, he's not feeding his stomach, he's not sleeping. How can that be a pleasure? Why would Lord Chaitanya think that that is most pleasurable, you know, for his devotee, to see in his devotee? And I couldn't understand. And only in time I realized this is only possible because these exalted personalities, they must be at such an elevated stage of genuine love for the Supreme Lord, not just being free from the bodily concept of life. Even Mayavadis can do that. There's even great yogis who probably better renunciates. I had once the opportunity to live, and there was a big old monastery there, Orthodox Christian church, and they took me in the catacombs, you know, the underground, like caves, cavern of this monastery, where in the past great monks, you know, like yogis, they voluntarily had themselves locked up in these dark rooms and no contact with the outside world whatsoever, and only one small slot in the wall, and I saw it. I actually got to see this small slot where sometimes some food was put to them. So I'm thinking, Are, is this what I have to do, you know, to get love for Krishna? And then of course we know the acharyas are singing the song, never mind what position, you're in the brahmachari position, grihastha position, vanaprastha position, sannyas position, just worship the Supreme Lord. So that is a great relief. So for me, to meet Maharaj is more the fact of affection, that despite everything, my lowly position, he's given me just immediately so much affection and friendship and acceptance So for me, I can relate to that. I don't know about all these austerities and tapasyas and all of that, but what I can relate to is that he was very kind, immediately supportive, encouraging me, as a disciple of Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj, and that's what touched my heart. And in conclusion, it just developed in this way. What I can relate to with Maharaj, because I had that experience with my own Gurudev, this amazing, joyous, unlimited, oceanic laughing. For me, these are qualities that touch me. When I remember sitting in Maharaj Parikram at Prem Sarovar, he's sitting over there, I'm sitting here, and in between are all his disciples and followers, and he's speaking some pastime, and he's looking at me and he's laughing, and I'm looking at him and I'm laughing, and we're just laughing. And what I can understand, just with the help of my Gurudev and with the help something from Shastra, like in Nectar of Devotion, we hear that this laughter is a transcendental bhav. It comes like flowers rising from the heart and being a joyous expression of an exalted emotion to the Supreme Lord. And in that way, I can better relate to sannyas, in the sense that here is somebody who is experiencing high levels of emotions of Krishna consciousness. And just by chance, I opened this book yesterday, and there is a quote, and I can better relate to sannyas in this way. There's a quote here from Ujjvala Nilamani speaking about Samatha Rati. It says, in Samatha love, the lover strives only to make Krishna happy. And it's speaking about the gopis, of course, in Vrindavan. The root cause of all their activities is Krishna's pleasure, nothing else. There's no thought of Atma Sukha, one's own pleasure. If they were to drown in either the ocean of happiness or the ocean of distress, or both, only the thought of Krishna's pleasure would be there. And it's a quote from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 4, text 174. Atma Sukha Dukke Gopira Narika Vicha Krishna Sukha Hetu Chesta Manovyavaha. The gopis do not care for their own pleasures or pains. All their physical and mental activities are directed toward offering enjoyment to Lord Krishna. The gopis never consider their own pleasure and happiness. They only think always of the pleasure and happiness of Krishna. Therefore, they act in that way. So I feel, with my own humble, itsy-witsy little bit of understanding, for somebody to be able to be a devotee of the Lord like Maharaj is only possible because a complete absorption of being 100% committed to doing everything physically and mentally only for the pleasure of the Lord, whatever that will take. So I'm grateful. I deeply express my gratitude to Maharaj for his kindness, and he's never asked me, anything other than, trying to do some service to the devotees. So we can do that. We can try to be kind and be affectionate and helpful to render service to the devotees, and hopefully with that service also may Lord Krishna get a little bit of pleasure. So thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for telling us about how Srila Gurudev is very affectionate. At one side he is very strict, strong, the great sannyasi. At the same time, he's a great father, compassionate and affectionate. So now we are inviting His Grace Bilvamangala Thakura. Prabhuji is disciple of His Holiness Maharaj, and we always see Prabhuji in doing Pujari Seva in Krishna Balaram temple, and we are very happy to have Prabhuji always gives us Mahaprasad, and it's very, very happy to see Srila Gurudev whenever he asks me, where is Maharaj now? Where is Maharaj? We are very happy to wish him.
Parubhyacha kripa sindhu vacha patitana Vaishnaviyo namo. His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj ki. His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Guru Param ki. Yes, I was just wondering, where will I start from? Because I have so much to say. I'm sitting down here, I'm a living testimony of Maharaja mercy and kripa as the world we go. But I want to emphasize on two basic important points. Before I emphasize on those points, I want to first of all appreciate the organizers of this program today. I think you are all glories to all of you to putting this wonderful program together. It's a great memory for me in particular. So I know Maharaj when I was undergraduate in philosophy. So from long decades of years ago. So from there we begin our relationship to these days. I'm still serving under Maharaj. So a lot of things have been said regarding to his practice, his staunch sadhana. But the two things I want to emphasize are these. The first one is this. I have, over the years, wandered here and there in Vrindavan. And oftentimes I see people, these fruit vendors, both in Vrindavan and somewhere else, when they display their fruits, they don't test. They just wait for those who to come and patronize them. In Vrindavan here, we see that when the fruit vendor displays their fruit, they hold danda, they hold stick, to prevent the monkeys, for coming close. But we see a different case in the Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he displays his fruit, there was no danda. And he did not display his fruit just for the buyer. He first of all tests the fruits. Then he dispenses it. Whether you are qualified or you are not qualified, he dispenses these fruits, which is the contrary scenario we see here and there. So Maharaj is on that caliber, following the teachings of His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and the Guru Parampara. He gives shelter, provided you want to follow. So for decades of years, I have been serving under him. Most of you may not know. I'm still serving under him till today. So this is the first aspect I want to really touch. The ability to preserve the teachings of Parampara without altering, as it is. Srila Prabhupada writes Bhagavad Gita as it is. This is what he gave. Most of his disciples here will be very, optimistic to state this, that most of you are very fortunate because having Maharaj as your guru or Shishya guru is worth it. So the second aspect which I want to emphasize, Maharaj has a great project, a similar one of that we have in Mumbai, Govardhan Eco Village. And I expect most of you are aware, especially maybe the disciples or a few of the followers. There is no way to please a Vaishnava when you help a Vaishnava with his duty. And most of the way to help, in this regard, there are various dimensions. If you are a disciple, you can assist with your own capability. If you are a follower, you can assist also with your own capability. But there is no point, there is no way to say, there is no one, it's really reasonable to say that I'm not capable or I don't have that means. We'll have the means. And that is the reason we see in Bhagavad Gita there are different aspects everyone can take to approach the Asuras. So, someone, I believe, it will highlight more of this project. But just to give a synopsis of it, a kind of a hint on it, it's a very important project. Because in Shastra, there are two things. There is Striya and prayer. Prayer is the temporary, just we are here temporary, after some times, then we leave. But Striya is eternal. And what Maharaj have as his project is an eternal project. That any of you, when you happen to visit West Africa, Nigeria in particular, you can be able to take full shelter of the project that Maharaj has. Please, at the end of this festival, find out how you can contribute. This is my little emphasis for today. Maharaj, happy Sannyasa Anniversary. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj ki, Jai Go Premanande.
Hare Go, Great Tribhunath Prabhu ki, Srila Gurudev ki. So now we have His Grace Vishnu Prabhu. Vishnu Prabhu at his childhood, when he was very young, he took initiation from Srila Bhakti Dhira Swami Maharaj. And after that, he is in India, he is known for his kirtan. So we are going to hear from His Grace Vishnu Prabhu ji. And after that, we have Karta Misha Mata ji. Because of lack of time, we will not be able to play other videos. We will again try to keep one more session in some days, and we will hear from those things. After that, we will have drama, and then we are going to hear from Srila Gurudev.
Hare Krishna. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Padeshamase Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Namane Vanjaka Paduru Vyashchakri Pasindi Vyaze Vacha Varinam Pavna Biyo Vaishnavi Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. The glories of Srila Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami are unlimited, and due to time constraint, I just drafted a few things here I will say. And personally, I'm very grateful that in this lifetime I've been able to come in contact with such a personality. Although I may say I'm a disciple of Srila Bhakti Dhira Swami, I may say so, but actually my connection with my Guru Maharaj has come through Srila Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami. He's very instrumental to me getting the initiation. In fact, the bead he handed over to me, the bead from Param Gurudev, he gave to me on the day of my initiation. And my mother has unflinching faith in his words. Because there's a saying that familiarity breeds contempt. So because Maharaj has been given this physical body in the same geographical location with us, some of us tend to see him as an ordinary jiva. But still, there are a few of us that know that he is not one of us. Just like he will say that we did not accept Srila Gurudev because he has the same skin with us. He always says so. That is not why I accept him as my spiritual master. So there are some of us, and my mother is one of those people. My mother would tell me always that Maharaj is not different from Srila Bhakti Dhira Swami. She has that unflinching faith. Now, it took me a while to realize that. It took a while. And so, even though I've known him from childhood, I would say that this last decade of my life, I have been able to come to understand more and more of his personality. Like he said in one of his classes, he said, in my astrological chart, I have two faces. So, when you see Maharaj, especially when you see him for the first time, and you are a very carnal person, like the Christians will say, you are a carnal person, you are very much on the surface, you will not see anything special about him. You might just see him as a sadhu, okay, a devotee, or just a sannyasi. You will not see. So he has both aspects. He has the mystical side, and then he has the physical side, as we just see. Oh, he does the same thing I'm doing. You know, he ties the dhoti, he wears the tilak. He has the physical side. You will be making a very big mistake if you assess him based on your temporary physical vision. So time is very short, so I'll just read briefly. So one quality he has is a leadership style which is unique with him, but it is subtle, and that is that his presence, his classes, his attitude towards each angle of devotional service, it triggers some kind of self-assessment and sometimes guilt that you are lagging behind. He doesn't need to give you some personal instructions. If you listen to his class, if you attend his japa sessions, if you even see the way he attends to his deities, you will begin to pass some kind of judgment on yourself. You begin to judge yourself. It's a quality he has. If you don't have interest in observing Ekadashi, if he gives a class on Ekadashi, he won't tell you to fast on that Ekadashi. He's not asking you to fast. He's just going to give a class on Ekadashi generally, and at the end that day, you will resolve that you are going to observe that Ekadashi. So he has that spiritual potency that is going to make you do the positive things which normally you feel are not so necessary. I can manage without them. Something else is that we all need somebody who we look up to for inspiration in our devotional service. Somebody whose lifestyle assures us that if you follow in his footsteps, you will eventually become a pure devotee. One thing is to try to be a devotee but fall short intermittently in between. That's happened to me sometimes. You know, we all want to be steady in our devotional service. He will always say that to be a neophyte devotee is very dangerous. One should not be a neophyte devotee. It's a very dangerous thing. He always emphasizes it. But sometimes we intermittently, in between, today you are full current, and tomorrow you are half current, and tomorrow you are quarter, like that. So it happens that sometimes we fall short intermittently in the process of devotional service. And another is that sometimes outrightly, some devotees might lose faith in the system and discard the idea of practicing at all. The latter often stems from want of somebody in our midst who has made tremendous advancement by applying his or herself to devotional service. So Maharaj is that person who reassures me that the exceptional mystical experiences and transformations that pure devotees witnessed in our Shastra are still available now. One day, I was in the altar with my godbrother, Aniruddha Prabhu. He left the body now. Speaking of some of his qualities. So, And Ruda is very attracted to the Jagannath deity because in his temple in Ibadan they had a big Jagannath deity. So whenever he comes from school, he wants to dress Jagannath deity. So that day, I think he dressed the deity, and Maharaj was giving Bhagavatam class, ISKCON Benin. And he was speaking about the quality of the pujari. And then he mentioned that if you are a pujari and you don't communicate with the deities, you should leave the altar. Now Maharaj has a quality when he speaks something, he doesn't, I would not say he doesn't know, I would say that is the way he chooses to operate. He doesn't speak it in a way that, okay, you take it gradually, with time you will understand. He just gives it to you hook, line and sinker. It's like a bomb. So now Maharaj is a bit mellow now that he has gotten so much disciples, especially with Matajis, he's a bit mellow. Like Mataji was saying about his nature, in his brahmachari days, it's a bomb. So that day he said, if you are a pujari and you are in the altar and you don't communicate with the deity, you should leave the altar, you are wasting your time. Now that was a bomb for the pujaris. So somebody came to me, he's not devotee, his godbrother, very senior. And because I was confused. So I was asking, does it mean that all these things we are doing here is a waste? So, and then I was very young. We don't approach him easily. He was the regional secretary. You don't have any reason to approach him. You have to go. You go to your temple commander, your Sanglitan leader. So he's very far from us. So my chief pujari, I now went to him. I said, all this effort we are doing here. So I said, so it means we are just wasting our time. So he said, don't mind Maharaj. Maharaj is always like that. He's just very heavy. He said, don't allow that to disturb your devotional service. He said, Maharaj is just like that. Then another year he mentioned, sorry, I will take a bit of extra time because I'm discussing his activities with his devotees. So another time he said, he was speaking to, he was referring to the Jagannath deity. And Lord Prabhu dressed the deity. So he asked, so you have dressed, he was saying generally, so you have dressed the deity, yes? He said yes. Did you ask Lord Jagannath if that is the cloth he wants to wear? So we broke into confusion. So I looked at my god brother, and so I asked him, did you ask the Lord that this is the cloth he wants to wear? He felt very disturbed. He felt very, very disturbed. And so now at that time we felt that this thing that Maharaj is saying, these are not things that are achievable. These are not things that we can do now. But many years later, when I came to India, I saw that he gave a class in China. He mentioned the same thing, the first safari. He mentioned the same thing. If you are a pujari and you don't communicate with the deities, you are wasting your time. Leave the altar. So then I asked him one day, personally, how does he communicate with? And then he told me, he said, my deities, they talk like anything. They are always talking. And he tells me that sometimes I can take this jewelry and I want to put on the deity, and the deity will tell me that, no, I don't want this today. I'll prefer this other one. So that is why I said here that the things which we read from the scripture, which are mystical, which we think that these things cannot happen now, he is a living testimony that these things are still happening right now if you apply yourself to the system. There are a lot of things to say about him, but time constraint. I will say the last one or two more. One is about kirtan. Kirtan. I said that a pure devotee is daksha, is expert in everything. So one of the things he's expert at is kirtan. Most of you have seen him doing kirtan here at Navadip Mandal Parikram, but you need to see his kirtan in his brahmachari days. The kirtan we do in India, you just sit down, you play harmonium. This is relaxing kirtan. You are relaxing. It's like somebody who is used to running up the hill. You're telling the person, okay, now you run down from the hill. Oh, that's nothing. He goes on Harinam with one of my kirtan gurus. His name is Punachandra. and he was leading the Harinam. They go on Harinam for many hours under the hot sun, scorching heat for many hours. And Prabhu Sachi, one of his godbrothers, would tell me that he will play Mridanga for 6 hours non-stop, and he plays only 2 styles. Some of us want to play many styles. He said, no, Maharaja will just take only 2. First one begins the kirtan, ki neda 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 day, Prabhupada. And the second one is Kahavata, the first one, the interkita. And he said he will play for hours non-stop. And then we have some godbrothers who are very powerful dancers. They dance, in Africa we dance vigorously. We don't just sway. You have to have good health, physical energy to dance. And so we have our godbrothers like His Grace Suklambara Prabhu, His Grace Salika Prabhu, and so many others. And he will tell them, when we want to start the kirtan, he will say, you see this ground, you see all the stones here. We are going to break the ground at the end of the kirtan. All the stones should be level. These are his words. We are going to break the ground at the end of the kirtan. This place should be completely level, and they will dance for hours and hours. And when sometimes in some Harinam when I'm playing Mridanga and I'm tired, he looks at me and he will say, are you tired? This is just the beginning. We are just starting the kirtan now. So Maharaj, he is an ecstatic kirtan performer. Ecstatic. That is when you see him out of his body. And lastly, should I say? Yeah. Like I said, Maharaj has unlimited qualities, and they are very numerous to mention. We will stop here. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we'll pray, Maharaj, I pray on this occasion of your Sannyasa Anniversary that you help me to be able to develop genuine love for you and also for Gurudev, and to have faith that this system that Prabhupada has given to us is sufficient for us to go back home, back to Godhead. Because I have said this, I remember one more thing before we go. That this system that Prabhupada has given to us is sufficient to take us back home, back to Godhead. So he was sharing with me that one day he was going on, I think maybe some yatra or parikram with some senior devotee, maybe his contemporary, some devotee. And the devotee, will I say cunningly or trickishly, tried to lure him into another Vaishnav Sangha. It's a Vaishnav Sangha. And he did not know. So he got into the Sangha and he realized that, well, this is not where I want to be. And so after everything, he came out and he told him that you should not do this next time. As far as I'm concerned, Sri Prabhupada has given me everything that I require to perfect my life in this lifetime and go back to Godhead. I don't need any other assistance. This is the kind of unflinching faith he has in Prabhupada, his guru, and in the system. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu ki jai. Gurudev ki jai. So we have so many things here, but we lack time. We would like to invite Her Grace Mataji, and with this, we will end hearing about Srila Gurudev, although it is never ending, like Vishnu said. And we'll have a small drama on the life of Bilvamangala Thakura, and then we go ahead with the rest. Mataji is Srila Gurudev, our sister, and she joined in youth. Srila Param Gurudev. We will be gladly hearing from Kartamisha.
Hare Krishna. I was thinking as the devotees were speaking about Maharaj that it's his 20th anniversary. It's also the 20th Tirobhav for Bhakti Dhira Damodara. And I just want to let everyone know, that I would like to try to organize it here in Vrindavan. They're having one in the U.S., a big international celebration, but I would like to have it here in Vrindavan. But I wanted to speak about Maharaj, and I had written so many things. I'm a note taker. I'm always taking notes. I have so many notes just to get my brain started. But one, I remember what I was thinking about first, that I wanted to speak about Gurudev, my Gurudev, because Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj is following completely in his footsteps. You know, he was very well. I used to really observe my Guru Maharaj a lot. Even before I joined the movement, before I even took initiation, I would observe Gurudev's movements and his actions, because you know, so many things happen in the material world, and after you've been out there so long, you don't want to be cheated, so you're a little bit cautious. So I took so much time, 3 or 4 years, to observe my Guru Maharaj and see, you know, his actions. And I got to understand after some time about his purity. So, and I observed that he was very kind to the children. He was very concerned about the Gurukulis in ISKCON. He was concerned about the elderly, and he was concerned about the women. And a couple of things I'll say. One time we went to New Vrindavan, that's in the US and West Virginia. And Gurudev took us to Prabhupada's Golden Palace. They have a palace in that temple there in New Vrindavan. And he was putting us in front of Srila Prabhupada, and he was dancing back and forth. You know how Gurudev, Maharaja inherited Gurudev's dancing, because you know Bhakti Dhira Maharaj would dance so much that when he finished, everything was completely soaked. All his clothing was completely soaked, and he was always ecstatic. But as my mind wasn't there yet, and he was dancing back and forth with such vigor. But as I observed him, what I saw was, oh, he's introducing us to Srila Prabhupada. He's offering us to Srila Prabhupada, you know. So as I observed him, I finally surrendered, because it took me a long time to surrender to the process and to surrender to taking instructions. So now I want to talk about Bhakti Dhira Damodara. So when he started coming here, well, when I knew him, the first trip I had to Vrindavan, Vrindavan. In fact, first, someone donated for me to go to Vrindavan, and so I made all my plans. And then, but Gurudev called me into his office, his room, and he said, so you're going to Vrindavan? I said, yes, Gurudev. And he said, and he sounded really like hurt, because I hadn't thought of asking him. It didn't occur to me, even though I had taken initiation, which was, of course, that was my mood all the time, right? So he said, well, why didn't you ask me? Why didn't you ask me if you wanted to go to India? You know, so he always had to help me understand that I am not independent, that I've taken initiation, and I need to speak with the Guru for anything that I wanted to do, which was hard for me at that time in my life. So the first trip I made was when I saw Maharaj, and his name was Pariksit at the time. But he was a brahmachari, so of course, you know, there was no talking, I just noticed him, that's all. You know, and I could see that he was very grave, very sober, and very strict. And Bhakti Dhira Maharaj was very, very strict as well in his life, very strict. And so much so that his godbrothers would complain to Srila Prabhupada, because they couldn't follow what he was doing, so they complained. And Gurudev felt bad, because he didn't want to make his godbrothers feel bad, so he tried to tone down a bit, you know, because of his strictness, 42 rounds every day, not taking anything but carrots and nuts and little things like that. He was totally detached, you know. So when Maharaj, years later, when Maharaj came to Vrindavan, the first thing I thought was, oh, he's just like Gurudev. I felt encouraged. I said, this is the mood of my Guru Maharaj. So one thing I want to say is like when one of Bhakti Dhira Damodara's disciples asked me to go to Kenya to preach, to go to Nairobi. And she asked me twice. And I was like, oh, I don't know. But finally I had gotten smart. So I went and spoke with Maharaj and said, your disciple wants me to go to Nairobi to preach. So he gave me, we call, in America we say, he gave me the 411. Like all the information you needed to know before you went there. So, and then after he gave me that, he said, okay, then you should go. So based on his permission, I had finally gotten to the state where I asked for permission for things. So he said, okay, you can go. And it was really a wonderful preaching experience. And then later on, just recently, I decided to go to Mauritius. But at least I wrote to Maharaj and asked him about Mauritius, and he made really nice arrangements, and the preaching was very nice. So in his class yesterday, was it yesterday? You had class, right? You were speaking about following in the Goswami's footsteps. And I was thinking, I had heard a class from one devotee who said, we shouldn't think we can follow in the Goswami's footsteps. And I just kept that inside. But when he started talking about it, when Maharaj started talking about it, I wanted to ask him a question. Well, if this person says we shouldn't, and you're saying we should, then what does that mean? And Maharaj's presence is very, very powerful, very potent. And as I was sitting there thinking about asking the question, what came to me was, it's okay if you think you can follow, because we can't even follow in his footsteps, what to speak of the rest of the acharyas, because I can't go on parikram with him, he walks too fast. All of the pure devotees, they're in Krishna's energy. We cannot really imitate. They're in Krishna's enemies, so they have a different energy. And so many things are going through my mind, because then I was remembering when he first came to Vrindavan, I asked Maharaj, can I dress your deities? And then he said, okay. And so I dressed the deities, and then I asked Maharaj, well, what did the deities tell you? But he never told me. he never explained to me what they had said to me, because I'm sure they told him something. I don't know what they said. I never found out to this day. And then I remember the verse in the Bhagavad Gita, I think it's 2:51 through 55. And it's, how does he walk? How does he talk? So we know that verse, if you know the Gita. And when I had my Bhakti Sastri and I came across that verse, I couldn't figure out what that meant. It took me years before I said, what does that mean? How does he talk? How does he walk? He walks like everybody else. What does that mean, you know? But now I understand what it means. How does he walk? How does he talk? You know, not like us. He's in the spiritual world, here in the material world, but he's in the spiritual world already. He's in the spiritual world. So So then I said, okay, because I had been saying, oh, I want to follow in my Guru Maharaj's footsteps. Back to that subject. And then I thought about what came to me when he was doing that class and he said that. What came to me from hearing the other person say, don't say that, was that we have to examine why are we doing it? Is it for our own aggrandizement? Is it for us to say, yes, I'm preaching here and I'm preaching there, or to be a big person? What is our motivation? And if we have the proper motivation and the proper reason and the proper sensitivity and wanting to actually deep down help the living entities, if that's our motivation, then it's okay to try to follow. But first we have to do a reflection about our own motivation, because this is what I learned also from Guru Maharaj, because whenever you went to ask a question or make a complaint, the first thing he would say is, do you have that? Don't point your finger at someone else and don't come to complain. You examine yourself and see, because whatever you think you see in someone else is in you. So you need to be reflective. So whatever things we do, even to the point of when you think you're close to Guru Maharaj or you know who he is, we don't know who he is actually, we don't know. I never thought I knew Bhakti Dhira Maharaj. So I always was a little bit apart because I didn't want to get familiar, because so many devotees were close to Srila Prabhupada and they took him as an ordinary person, and we can't do that. They're not ordinary persons. So we have to, not think that, oh, I know my Guru Maharaj. Well, we'll never know, So when Guru Maharaj, when Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj comes here, I feel the presence of my Guru Maharaj, and I feel so enlivened and so encouraged, because that means to me that Guru Maharaj is keeping an eye on me, and he's still in my life and watching over me and encouraging me to be the best I can be and to offer what I can offer, regardless of what it is. So that's my offering for Bhakti Dhira Damodara, and I hope he just keeps coming and stay a little longer. It's always such a short time to stay a little longer. Thank you, Maharaj, so much.
So now we are going to see a small drama. And before that, we sincerely have seen many online videos, and we have also now heard from few devotees who were supposed to speak. Maybe on some other day we can come together and hear. So my sincere apologies, please forgive me. And by the time drama is going to start, we would like to end with one of the great teachings of Srila Gurudev, which I always think upon that. In one lecture, Srila Gurudev was saying, I never heard with this kind of mindset. I have heard about that title so much, Chitraketu, comes in the Bhagavad. Chitraketu Maharaj has 10 million wives, 1 crore, 10 million wives. And Srila Gurudev said that Chitraketu Maharaj did not marry for some gratification, but he married to get a representative, to get a person who can follow him. That's why king used to do all austerity. They used to marry number of wives or go to an extent. So we are unlimitedly grateful to Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhakti Dhira Maharaj, who has given us such a pure representative of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, Srila Gurudev, who is among us, walking, talking, eating, chanting and dancing, like one among us. But he can take us to Bhakti Godhead. So with this, we are going to see a drama. So this drama is based on the story of Shri Bilvamangala Thakura, Leela Shukha. This is one of the favorite pastimes of Srila Gurudev. Srila Gurudev every day morning hears the prayers of Bilvamangala Thakura. And we are going to see the extraordinary determination showed by Shri Bilvamangala Thakura. You are ready?
There is a mic here. We have one wireless.
Hare Krishna, we are looking for Prisha and Vihan, Prisha Mataji and Vihan Prabhuji. Please come ahead on the stage for your role. Prisha and Vihan. Sadhu Mataji and Raman Mataji, please help.
Bilvamangala Thakura was a wise and knowledgeable Brahmana, dedicated to spiritual practices and a peaceful household life. However, Krishna had a divine plan for him. The Lord wished to bring his dear devotee back to the right path and show the world the strength of true determination in Krishna consciousness. His story begins with an intense and uncontrollable attachment to a beautiful courtesan named Chintamani. As their relationship grew, Bilvamangala's infatuation deepened. Lost in desire, he abandoned his spiritual duties and Brahmanical values. Even when his father passed away, he could not wait for the funeral rites to end. Overcome with longing, he rushed to see Chintamani, ignoring the raging storm and violent floods. No boatman was willing to risk the stormy waters, but Bilvamangala's obsession was unstoppable. Desperate, he found a floating corpse and used it to cross the river. Reaching Chintamani's house, he mistakenly grabbed a snake, thinking it was a rope, and used it to climb through a window. Soaked and trembling, he stood before her, consumed by desire. But instead of happiness, Chintamani was horrified by the extent of his madness. A wave of realization struck her, and a sudden detachment arose in her heart. It was as if Lord Krishna himself spoke through her when she uttered the words that would forever change Bilvamangala's life.
Chintamani! Chintamani!
Bilvamangala, you crossed the river on our carts just to see me.
Chintamani!
You lost your sense.
Chintamani, my heart is burning with longing for you. No storm, not even the fear of death could stop me or keep me away from you. Chintamani.
If you only have the same attachment for a lot of Sri Krishna, you can. If you have the same attachment for Lord Krishna, with Lord Krishna, you can.
What did you say?
Yes, you won't have any Krishna.
I could have a tea. could have attained Krishna. I want to attain Krishna. I want Krishna. 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 Krishna.
If only you had the same attachment for Krishna's lotus feet instead of a woman, you would have attained Krishna. These words kept ringing in Bilvamangal's ears, bringing a strong transformation in his life. No longer was he yearning for material pleasures. His only goal was Krishna. Bilvamangal thus embarked on his most auspicious journey. Maddened by the deep desire to see Krishna, he toured to different places, crying out, Krishna, Krishna. Day and night he chanted Krishna's holy name, wandering through the holy places and singing Krishna's glories in his ever melodious voice. Eventually, he decided to go to Sri Vrindavan, the divine abode of the Lord. But on the way, Lord Krishna decided to test his resolve yet again.
Hey Devi, can you give me some water? Chintamani! 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 Why are you running away from me? Chintamani!
Welcome, Namaste. Please let me know how can I serve you. Please give me a chance to serve you.
No! No! I have strayed away again from my goal, yet again and again. I have been diverted from my goal, overcome by lust. Overcome by lust. Lust entered through his eyes. Oh, Mother, please forgive me. Can you please give 2 pence from your head? Last minute. Let me pluck these eyes. If at all I have to see, I may only see Krishna, my beloved Krishna.
Oh my God! How come they want you to do that? Let me help you. How come I tell you? Let me give you the doctor for treatment. Please come with me.
No,
Please.
needed. This is the best treatment for my eyes. Now, my eyes will never commit such sin. Okay. Now I will not stop until I reach Vrindavan. I vow to not take grains or water until my Lord Krishna personally offers me with his lotus hands. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna.
Days passed, and Bilvamangala didn't even accept a drop of water or a morsel of food. But the Lord cannot bear any suffering for his unalloyed pure devotee for so long.
Wow, Jaya, nectar. Baba, you must be tired from the singing. Take some milk.
Oh, sweet child, such a sweet voice. Oh, sweet child, who are you? Why have you come to this forest?
I'm just a boy from Vrindavan, Baba. Why don't you take this milk? Do you know Krishna used to drink this milk from the cows of Vrindavan? Didn't you want to taste that?
Krishna used to drink this?
Yes, drink it.
I've never tasted something like this my entire life. This is nectar. I drank nectar. I drank. Krishna, I drank. I took a vow. My vow is broken. I'm lost. I'm lost.
Don't worry, Baba. Krishna will never punish you.
Oh, what? You seem to know so much about Krishna. You are a Rajvasi. Please tell me more about Krishna, his form, his pastimes, his activities. Please.
Sure, Baba. He has a complexion like a dark rain cloud and eyes are like lotus petals. He sails separate from the house of gopis and dances in the moonlight with his beloved servants. His laughter is like the sound of tinkling bells, and wherever he goes, the fragrance of sandalwood and tulsi follows him. He plays flute that captivates hearts of all.
away from my heart. You can never be away from my heart. Hey, 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 Dharita, hey, Bhuvane Kabandhu, hey, Krishna, hey, He Karune Ka Sindhu, He Nath, He Ramana, He Naina Dhiram, Ha Pradhanu Vikas, Pradhan Vishwa.
So in this drama today, we had Srila Bilvamangala Thakura's role being played by Vivek Prabhuji. The character of Chintamani was played by Her Grace Jayada Gopika Mataji. The character of the merchant was played by His Grace Abhinandan Prabhu. The character of the merchant's wife was played by Her Grace Achyuta Priya Mataji. In Krishna's role, we had Vihan Prabhu. As Srimati Radha Rani, we had Prisha Mataji. And our narrator was Her Grace Preeti Manjari Mataji. The sound was being taken care by Her Grace Shama Priya Mataji. Big Hari Bol to the drama team. Let us thank Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Srila Gurudev, for introducing us to such beautiful pastimes as the daily meditation, and to the drama team for picking this topic up and displaying it so beautifully. Hare Krishna.
So now going next, we are going to hear from Srila Gurudev, Holiness of Dhira Damodara Swami.
इसको लगा लो। माधवी बोली और आगे करने को, वही हम भी बोले ना।
Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Taparitham Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Sri Rupam Sagadatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sudhima Sadvaitam Sadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Shri Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopisaya Gopika Kanta Tapa Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Panchakapataru Yasya Kripasundhyaya Vacha Atitana Pavaniyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna